kung katulad ng konsepto ng human rights, hindi siya imported, it's more of universal, pangkalahatan ang hustisya. Kaya yung kaso niya crimes against humanity,
Humanity, hindi lang mga
krimen laban
Pilipino.
sa sangkatauhan. Oh, ibig sabihin, pagkatao mo na. Kaya kahit saan, dapat pwedeng parusahan yan.
Ako, Attorney Conti, no, what I've been doing is looking at 10 to 15 different pre-election surveys, including mga privately commissioned from different campaigns forward sa akin. And then I even did Kalya survey, basically over the past few days. It's not scientific, but almost 100% na nakausap natin, I would say D1, D2, even E. Barely my ABC ako nakausap. At least 50% na nakausap natin, hindi lahat sila nandun sa mga na-publish ko, but at least 50% dyan, yung issue ng krimen, makang malakas pa rin sa kanila. So, yung issue ng, bakit yung complementarity, of course, they didn't use the term na principle of complementarity, pero parang idea nila, meron naman tayong justice system dito, meron naman tayong mga korte, hindi naman tayo. So, it looks like malakas pa rin yung ganyan rhetoric na kumbaga parang, essentially Duterte was kidnapped and this is an intervention by a intrusive foreign force. I'm looking at the surveys. Bongo could be number one, or he's thinking he'll be number one. Although tingin ko Erwin Tulfo pa rin mag number one, but that's a long story. Bato easily top five. So both of them are almost sure to be reelected, and more than what 20 million votes. When I look at that, parang my sense is the political situation, the political landscape could become more hostile if ever a warrant of arrest comes in. So with the Digong one, kasi may element of surprise eh. Parang wow. And also Digong was medyo, aminin natin, syunga din siya. His kutzba caught him off guard. But now, parang ito na, parang hunkering down na yan.
Di,
And
tsaka yung
yeah,
tingin namin yung parang ah, invincibility. Hindi niyo magagawa yan. Yung ganong akala niya talaga, kaya niya ang lahat na to. Pero yun, surprise and feeling na, makapangyarihan ako. Apparently,
impunity.
na-temper na yun.
Yeah, so they went from this sense of parang sabi na suave impunity to now essentially hunker down, siege mentality, mobilized force, which creates its own complications, diba? Operationally speaking and all of that. And it makes me worried kasi mukhang nagre-resonate yung kanilang rhetoric. Kaya salamat sa'yo, Attorney Conti, and other people are making an effort to clarify. Kasi nakita ko pumapatol ka rin dun sa mga nagko-comment pag nagpo-post ako ng videos natin eh. In a good way, like a good patol, like educational patol. Siguro dahil teachers tayong pareho sa UP, siguro that gives us the patience, really, the sense of responsibility. But I hope the media and other influencers do something more about this kasi parang on-challenge yung mga arguments ni, like, okay, let's talk about Amy Marcos, yung kanyang hearing, which obviously was politically, electorally motivated. What is your read of the results of her hearing? There's a push to even impeach the president. Yung Duterte youth, sila Cardenas, they're pushing for impeachment against Duterte. Amy Marcos is pushing for investigation of the ILG Secretary, Justice Secretary, the Remullas, not to mention hindi pa PNP chief, but PNP CIDG Chief Torre. What is your read of that? Meron bang legal momentum ito considering the unfortunate political circumstances in our country? What is your read of that?
Well, I think yung they're relatively, no? I mean, among the cases, generally they're unrelated except for the arrest of Duterte and then the Duterte case. Pero parang siya palitan ng putok, whether in the same battlefield or in another field. Na parang, doon naman tayo sa kabila. But in run, sabi nga namin, if we step back, this isn't a war between the Marcoses and the Dutertes. Not simply, no? This should be considered, lalo na itong case ni Duterte, this should be considered as a case of the Filipino people or the people of the world versus Rodrigo Duterte. Mali ba yung ginawa niya? Simply put, whether Marcos or Duterte back yan o kung sino pang politiko, regardless of the politics, mali ba yung ginawa niya? Duterte has always kind of weaponized politics, weaponized his policies. Yung war on drugs, sa totoo lang, may tinira siya na politiko. Pero apparently, yung kalaban niya lang. So, allegedly, yung Parohinogs at saka yung Espinosa, kaya yan tinira kasi kalaban sa politika o kaya hindi supporter. Kaya may ganong layer din talaga itong policy. Kaya tuloy nagmumukhang politikahan. Kung kami, ako, actually, I'm part of a party list. So, I'm a nominee of Bayan Muna. And I help them with campaigns. Ginagawa ko siyang
Ay, sorry, I
discussions on
didn't,
the ground.
I
Kanina
didn't
galing
know.
kaming
So, ano
palengke.
pang ilan nominee ka, attorney?
Number 5.
Baka ang pwede mong gawin, Cardemas, pa-disqualify
Malayo.
dapat. Hindi pa-disqualify. Kaya pwede mong gawin yung ginawa ni Cardemas sa Duterte yun.
Ah!
Or, sino man si Guanzon, yung pinapatanggal niya.
PWT. Wag
Ginawa niya.
naman
Wag
kasi
naman. Na Supreme
ang
Court
number
naman
one
yun eh.
natin, Nery,
Oo.
Nery Colmenares.
Of course,
Oh,
I'm
tsaka
joking.
number one, Nery Colmenares. Ang hirap
Medyo mahirap
i-replace.
i-replace. Oh, mahirap i-replace.
So for me, so parang ako, bangko o kaya salimpusa. What I do is engage with the people. Tapos, ang maganda, may ibang nakakakilala. Sabi, ikaw ba yung nasa TV? Yes po. Tapos, okay ba yung paliwanag? Tama ba yung explanation? Kung naiintindihan ba yung examples? Tapos, kung anong naaalala nila na keywords. So, for me, naging, ano to, parang practice. Nakakaano din ako,
In
nakaka-encounter ako
campaigning,
na, ikaw
campaigning
ba yung
practice.
nasa in campaigning, yeah, because we talk about the platforms. Tapos, good morning po. Tapos sometimes I talk about, ito po para sa hustisya po, para sa lahat. Ganyan. Tapos may ibang nakakakilala. May ibang nakakakilala sa akin na siguro Duterte supporter. Tapos iismid. Parang, ikaw yung nag-ano eh, parang sinurrender mo. Parang ako pa talaga, sinurrender mo sa
O nga,
iba.
no? O ikaw
So,
sisisiin.
tayo nag-engage tayo online. Nag-engage tayo online. I've had some kumbaga experience engaging in person. Kaya ito tidbits lang kasi paalis na nasa palengke. So sir, ano bang tingin nyo? Ano bang ano nyo? Basta ganito. Minsan nauuwi kami sa sadly kawawa naman yung matanda. Pero again, ang pahabol ko na lang,
False
naku
sympathy, di
sorry
ba?
sir,
I-mention
hindi lang po
natin
to
yan eh, yung
usapin ng
false
ama.
sympathy. Yeah, yung issue ng false sympathy. No, I want to ask you
Oh,
about
ang
this.
sabi ko,
Yeah. How hard it was for you to question that false sympathy and say, okay, nakakawa yung matanda, pero mas nakakawa yung mga patay na bata. Yeah, I mean, did you make even an attempt like that, attorney?
correct yan. So, yes. So, ang hahabol ko, kawawa naman po yung mga biktima. At ibabalik ko na, sa totoo, hindi siya kawawa dahil pagkakamalinis niya yung pangalan niya. So, paborable sa kanya. Ah, at totoo naman yun. Sa kahit na anong akusado, harapin mo, tapos you are given an opportunity to confront the charges against you. At kung sinasabi mong unfair, at ito na nga, sinasabi niya, wala naman kayong jurisdiction, let it run. Let it be discussed. Para wala nang usapin ng, unfair naman yan eh. Klaro na merong korte, merong batas, sundan lang natin. Kung tama ba yung argument niya, o titingnan natin.
I don't want to get into electoral political fights, but of course, kayo, si Attorney Neri, couple of progressive people, we know that si Franz Castro, we also had her on this show before she formalized her run for the Senate. Lahat sila klarong-klaro dun sa issue ng pusit. The whole issue of accountability, right? But to be honest, Attorney Conti, I mean, I'm pretty disappointed with some of the other candidates, quite the competitive candidates. If we were to believe the pre-election surveys, like, I'm not hearing them saying much about the issue ng ICC. I mean, kasi basically, di ba, ang kritisismo natin earlier this year was si BBM, sabog basically yung press conference niya the next day. Parang, it's all over the
Oh,
place. So siguro takot siya na, to agitate, baka magkagulo sa Mindanao, I don't, baka he has an intel we don't have. So I felt the president had a big lost opportunity to rally the nation and say, enough is enough, rule of law to, hindi tayo banana republic. He failed on that front. And I cannot also blame him kasi yung mga alyansa niya, puro mga trapo din or mga malapit kay Digong Green. So, but ang disappointment ko rin is, aside from you guys, and I've heard you, I've interviewed you guys, to be honest, dun sa mga ibang, let's just call them liberal pink candidates, I haven't heard them saying much on the ICC issue or even the Sara impeachment issue. Yung isa nga, sabi niya, political issue lang yan, di ba? And then mamaya nakita ko, nag-aaway pa yung dalawang kampo na yan, kagabi yung isa. So, sabi ko na, puro naman food vlog lang nakita ko doon sa isa. I mean, what the heck, di ba? I mean, it's not like every day magkakaroon ka ng itong ICC situation na former president mo idadalhin dyan. This, makasaysayan to. I know, again, this gets into election and campaign, but from a human rights point of view, from an activist point of view, shouldn't we be so deeply disappointed that some of these people who actually have a good chance of making it to the Senate, nagpa-safe na lang sila or even pa-cute, I would say. Am I being too harsh, Attorney Conti, or biased ba ako?
Well, I couldn't say that na kumbaga bias, and considering that you have basis or facts to say so. Pero frustration ko din yan that some candidates are avoiding the ICC issue. And even candidates from Makabayan, I would even admit that, parang they would always refer to me kasi they want to be caught na parang
Repeatal lang nila.
sila
Ikaw
naman yung
punching bag.
hindi naman superficial, pero parang baka masabit, parang teka, technical. So, si Attorney Conti mag-explain. Pero they carry the issue. They always say, para sa biktima. Narinig ko once, iniisip ko kung sa isang debate, si Senator Kiko. Senator Kiko, may kasama ko sa group chat yan kasi dating student regent ng UP. Unang student regent ng UP na formally appointed. And then sometimes we exchange information, ganyan dun sa group chat. Parang narinig ko sa isang interview or debate, parang anong position tungkol sa war on drugs against sa killings, sa extrajudicial killings. Pero wala nang, I agree, no? Walang follow-up. Kay Senator Bam, wala pa rin. Pero
daw.
to some extent,
may INC endorsement.
meron ba o wala? Ang common na candidate na lagi kong kausap tungkol dito, si Senator De Lima, likewise with a party list. So, lagi kami magkausap kasi yung minsan na-invite kami sa forum tungkol sa EJK or sa war on drugs or Duterte. So, kami lagi okay ba? Ano ng status? Ano nang gagawin natin? At very fiery si Senator De Lima. Kaya lang, ang isang naintindihan ko, even with our group, is that the branding or the issues that you carry, yun yung nagsistick kasi sa tao, and that could be a tactic for campaign. So you stick to one issue or you talk about your core campaign and you do it positively, positive campaign. Messaging, yeah. So for some candidates, they focus on this. For some candidates, they focus on this para maalala ng tao. Pero kaya tuloy na-appreciate ko din yung mga debate at saka yung mga one-on-one. Kasi doon napapalalim. Kasi kung sila lang ang magsasalita, di ba pag maririnig mo, kunyari sa campaign rally, 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Correct.
Anong nakwento nila? Napakilala pa lang nila yung sarili nila, tapos yung main issue. Pero yung dagdag na questions, wala na. Kaya yun yung tinitingnan ko, yung mga debates. At saka, meron to sa mga schools, parang naka-checklist or naka-table. Ano ang position dito? Sini-check out kayo lagi para, meron ba ditong war on drugs? Recently lang, hindi na nga maingay. Kaya sabi ko, naku, paano ba gawin ulit tong election issue? Kasi it has to be an election issue. Anong posisyon nyo sa war on drugs? Anong posisyon nyo sa EJ case? And sadly, ito yung medyo ironic. People support Duterte and the Duterten. But they are against extrajudicial killings. They support an ICC case. In fact, di ba, 61% yung okay na magtuloy yung ICC hearing or parang ganun yung survey. So, may ganung, hindi ko alam kung parang is it a discrepancy or is it just parang compartmentalization
Dissonance,
ng tao.
I think, is the more technically.
I like him as a person.
Yeah.
Parang, I like him as a person. Gusto ko si Duterte lang. But, I don't like extrajudicial killing. So, sana rin yung mga botante maintindihan, they go hand in hand. Yung tao, yung values niya, yung principles niya, go along with principles
No, I want to go back to this.
and policies.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go back to this kasi I mean, naintindihan ko yung logic ng ibang candidates. Parang siguro ang inisip nila kurot-kurot na lang, 'di ba? Huwag kang masyadong magsalita against the Dutertes. You might get some vote from their side. I'm seeing sample ballots na PDP laban 10 plus Kiko Bam, right? At the same time, marami rin mga loyalista, solid North people na galit sa mga Duterte. Sa tingin nila, I mean, si Gadon, 'di ba? Attorney pa rin bang tawag sa kanya? Hindi ba na disbar yan? Si Gadon, sabi niya, I want fiscalizer. So, hindi na pala po. He wants fiscalizer. So, biglang, so siguro part of the BAM Kiko strategy could be like, wag na lang tayo masyadong, medyo ambivalent tayo, strategically ambivalent tayo so that we can get from both sides while also relying dun sa middle yung mga tao na gusto ng good governance, alternative, ganun. But as I said, at the end of the day, baka ang mangyari dyan is ma-box out ka ng both groups because each group is consolidated. The PDP Laban group talagang straight slate yan. And Mindanao support for Bato is like 70-75% nag-mobilize behind him talaga. Not Kibuloy, 20+% lang na ginawa kay Kibuloy. But of course, Alianza, they have the resources, the machinery and all. So my fear is that this kurut play it safe strategy, while in theory it might make sense, they might also end up as being boxed out because the admin has the machinery and they don't have that. And then the PDP Laban have their own parang kumbaga block voting, if I can even use that term, di ba? So medyo risky yan. But more than risky for me, I'd rather have someone run in a race and lose, but run it principled and you know, leave a mark for the next big race, which is 2028, than play it safe and lose pa rin. Diba? I know maybe I'm sounding a little bit
Which is
unfair, but honestly, kailan nanalong opposition last time I checked, 2016, 2019. Walang masyado rin panalong opposition. So maybe it's time to think about new ways and new strategies. So no, what I want to say is this. Like your people are saying ayaw nila ng EJK. Gusto nila ng ICC. Gusto nila West Philippine Sea. And then tignan mo yung mga number 1 to number 5. Ilan dyan ang strong sun sa West Philippine Sea? Ilan dyan ang medyo sangkot potentially? Pinag-usapan na natin, na name drop na natin. Potentially sa EJK. So how can you have 60% for ICC and then lampas sa 40% for a person who could be the next to be arrested by the ICC? So ang best explanation dyan is that no one made an effort to connect the two. Meaning yung kandidato, like tayo, we have made an effort even though baka libelous. Sabi naman ni Justice Carpe, he'll protect us just in case. But like sobrang mabait ng mga kandidato. No one, walang negative campaigning sa elections. This was the nicest campaign in the most unnice, polarized, high stakes political environment. And to be honest, I found that weird. I just found that weird. Like this was the time to really attack these candidates to say, eto mamatay tao to, dapat ICC to, eto tuta ng China. Ganun. Wala, no, everyone was playing cute. Only Tolentino made an effort to discuss a little bit West Philippine Sea and then para walang nang Peter out na rin eh. So, do you see where I'm coming from? Parang sabi ko, eto na nga yung chance to finally lay it out. Si BBM sumablay, kayo sumablay eh. So, I'm not talking about obviously your folks because your folks have been consistent on this.
Well, I don't know about yung general na cutesy because from our side, kumbaga sa Makabayan, and even I've heard Yodi and Sani Matula and Luke, yung mga sabi na natin, left of field.
Progressive, ang term
umuupak.
ko dyan, yeah, progressive.
Yeah, upak kung upak. Pero, na-realize ko tuloy, well, I don't know about the other candidates pa na. Totoo, I agree, hindi sila nag-uan, parang kanya-kanyang niche. Pero there's one thing we could have explored as well. But this was very special. In 2016, I remember, sumama ako sa group called Karma. I know negative campaigning is a no-no, di ba? But in 2016, nung mananalong Vice President si Marcos, Karma, the campaign against the return of the Marcoses to Malacanang. Ngayon, martial law and Malacanang. Negative campaigning talaga. Do not vote for BBM. Namigay kami ng comics kasi parang, oh my gosh, that's one thing pwede nating na-consider, no? Pero at that point, yung Marcos talaga, it was concentrated and parang we had a common enemy. This time around, there's so many of them. if I personally had a chance na mag-mount ng something similar, I would have run a campaign against Bato de la Rosa and focused on him, on his performance, and even and his role in the ICC case. Ang hirap, if you're too stretched out, ang hirap. Pero, and also, kailangan mong tingnan yung realities na even if you had mounted that, would you have won? Would you have, would you have had support? A campaign against Bato de la Rosa, a former police officer, will also put people's safeties down the line. Kasi, syempre may connection ka
Papanggaan
rin
mo,
yan. And
ano,
people
yeah.
have been telling me that. Oh, ingat ka, ang mga kaaway mo, police, or even Duterte, police. Tsaka, yung pinopoint out nga, yung mga police dyan, may sariling mga utin yan, may sariling mga galama eh. At kahit na hindi sabihin ni Duterte, oh, ito gawin nyo, kaya na nilang magpatakbo ng sarili nilang small-time operations. At ang problema, dahil nga nakatikim na, alam mo yung ano nila, pag nakatikim na ng dugo, mga cold-blooded killer na, kayang-kaya nila yan na ipatira ka. So,
Muscle memory na
may
lang
ganun
siya.
din mga, oo, parang dali na lang. Parang nakatikim ka na minsan, yung susunod, wala na lang. And we have a lot, thousands of policemen during the war on drugs, di ba? Na ganun ang experience. Nakapatay na ako, okay na yan. Or naging bahagi ako ng isang operation, ang target pumatay kasi may quota, may reward. Okay na yan. So sana yun yung hindi ano ba kasi desensitization ng nangyari noon. Even sa atin, may patay, okay. Sana may re-sensitization or
Or
re-conscientization ng
rehumanize,
tao.
rehumanizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yung mga biktima, tao sila, katulad natin. They're just like any one of us. Grabe. Kaya nga, I was so hurt yung tanim biktima. Yung kay Pulong nga, ano sabi na, tanim, ano yan, tanim kaso. Magaling mahilig magtanim yung mga kaibigan natin. No? Farmers talaga. Troll farms. At saka, ano.
Hindi, tsaka, sabi ko nga, ang galing nila sa propaganda. Because the concept of tanim ebidensya came from our side. Sabi natin, planting of evidence. Planting, noon pa din, even yung sa activists, yung guns and explosives. Planting of evidence, and that term is in the law. Planting of evidence is prohibited. So sabi namin, ganito. Biglang binaliktad. Ang bilis. Kaya, hindi ko rin madi-discount yung disinformation machinery, yung propaganda
Not 10 years
campaign.
old, Na, I mean, honestly, the other day I was making analysis, sabi ko, parati ko tinatanong, saan nyo po kinukuha yung ideas nyo na bumabalik ang krimen, lumalalang situation? Sa online po, it's all over the place. And then na-realize ko, remember, algorithmic ang social media. So kung ikaw ay 6 years nandun sa information ecosystem ni Digong, then 2 years nung buhay pa yung Uniteam, di ba? Kumbaga, lock-in ka na dun eh. So all they have to do is magpitik-pitik lang sila ng impormasyon, immediately may captured audience ka na. So that's why ang hirap labanan ng disinformation because nakalatag na siya ng 10 years na eh. Not to mention the machinery is sophisticated, allegedly supported by another superpower. Mahabang usapan yan. But my reading dito, Attorney Conti, is I think we're also in an impossible situation because theoretically, and this would have been another moral dilemma, yung issue ng safety, you could have resolved it. Kunyari, you're a secret ally with General Torre and the ILG, poprotektahan ka nila while you're going after Bato. Diba? I mean, in theory, that would have been the case. Right? But then again, of course,
Napaisip ako, pwede nga. Tama.
see, you're such an innocent person, Attorney Conti, hindi mo na-expect. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, in theoretically, you put aside some moral considerations, that could sound like the most sensible strategy, right? Work with the current government because you have a shared interest. And they'll protect you. Torre will protect you.
Yeah, parang the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Not necessarily friend, my tactical ally for these elections lang and then goodbye ulit after election. You know what I'm saying? But again, even that would be hard because syempre, never Marcos. Syempre, yung kalokohan ng ginawa ng mga Marcoses, di ba? Yung ang daming mga questionableng ginawa ng kasalukuyan ng gobyerno. Kaya I felt talaga doomed tayo in a sense that, let's be honest, there's first Duterte Marcos. And then there's the opposition trying to position between the two. And then yung opposition, may progressive, may liberal, di ba? And then may medyo nasa gitna, like Akbayan, like ang gulo eh. Alam mo, honestly, Attorney Conti, minsan nahihilo na ako sa politika natin. I mean, even though I do this on a daily basis, sabi ko, it's so hard to put people together. Everyone may niche, everyone may internal audience. Sabi ko, alam mo, that's why mananalo mga Dutertes eh. I mean, if there's one survey I saw na nakakatakot to. Ang sinabi na is 4 out of 10 Filipinos are now behind Dutertes na. So it used to be 15 to 20%. Ito yung hardcore DDS. And then now, yung 20% na softcore. Ito yung 40% na bumoto kay Digong basically. Ay nag-congeal na. So if you're familiar with European politics, you know with 40% you can become a hegemonic party. Like the Christian Democrats in Germany are not even 30%.
Yeah.
So if we were a parliamentary system, tapos na, they will be the hegemonic party. They just need a secondary small party, tapos na. Isn't that warning? Kasi wala tayong coalition building nature culture eh. Kanya-kanyang diskarte eh. The BBM people have their own thing. You guys in the progressive wing have your own thing. Not to mention there are 50 shades of progressive movement. Meron pang Calyodi version. There's the Walden. There's you guys. And then there's Akbayan, so we're in the middle. Then there's the liberals. And then si Bam na kanya-kanya. So for me, nakakalungkot lang yan because it just exposed yung limits ng mobilization sana nangyari. Because makasaysayan itong nangyari sa ICC na to. But nevertheless, Attorney Conti, I can see na humahabang hair mo at mukhang tuloy-tuloy ang skincare and all natin. So,
Kumukulot ang buhok. Ay,
well,
pero speaking of coalition, I
please.
had high hopes for one sambayan, isang bayan. I wasn't part of it directly, pero I remember when it was being put together, parang there were so many forces within it. Neri was trying to explain it to me kasi kasama dyan si Chief Justice Carpio, if I recall, and Attorney Howie Calleja. So
Alam ko,
parang sabi ko,
Harry.
okay.
Nabahan ako.
Oh, no.
Harry.
Howie. So parang okay sana yon, kaya lang as an exercise, it continues kasi I meet people na sabi nila, sa isang bayan sila. So, okay. Sa Australia pa nga yung chapter nila, parang nandun lahat
Yung
ng
event natin,
opposition
di ba? I mean,
forces.
I think we can say that, right? Yung event natin that we came together, that was kind of with our good friends. So, I think basically
Yeah.
the message here, Attorney Conti, medyo tapos na itong election na to. So we're a few hours removed, campaign is officially over. So fingers crossed. I've seen different numbers. There was a consumer sentiment number given to me by a big corporation, if not the biggest corporation. Sabi niya, Gen Z and millennial, up to 20% decide on the final day, especially pag Senate ito and all. Some other naman sinasabi nila halos tapos na nagdesisyon ng tao. So maybe the last part, attorney, habang nag-freeze yung hair na curly hair and all dahil sa internet connection natin and all. I just wanna ask one final thing, Attorney Conti. What do you want to see happen for 2028? Ano bang kailangan natin gawin in the coming years? In terms of making sure that the opposition is in the right place, in terms of making sure na we do the right thing, that you mobilize people in the right direction, you reconscientize people, you bring back the sense of humanity, and also you get rid or at least diminish the false sympathy. Mukhang naghahang ka pa rin na attorney. Can you hear me at all? Oh my God. Ito pa naman yung penultimate part na yan sana. Attorney Conti, can you hear me? Oops. 1 second guys, medyo